I never thought the day my brother walked out of that gray prison gate would feel like the world cracking open under my feet. The air was thick with diesel fumes from the idling buses and the faint, acrid tang of freedom mixed with regret. And there he was, Caleb, my identical twin, looking like a ghost of the boy who'd once shared my bunk bed, his eyes hollowed out by 5 years of concrete walls and bad decisions. "Nate," he rasped, voice like gravel, dropping his duffel at my feet as if it weighed a ton. "You kept him alive for me. My boy. Our boy now, I guess." But in that split second, as our gazes locked and the crowd blurred into nothing, I saw it. The flicker of something darker, the secret he'd buried deeper than the bars that held him, the one that had shattered our family long before the cuffs clicked shut. It started 6 years ago, back when Caleb and I were still the unbreakable duo, the Hawthorne twins from that dusty corner of Dayton, Ohio, where the factories hummed like distant thunder and dreams went to rust on the assembly line. We grew up in a shotgun house on the edge of town, Mom chain-smoking Virginia Slims on the sagging porch while Dad flipped burgers at the diner, his calloused hands smelling of grease and unspoken apologies. Caleb was the wild one, the charmer with the easy grin who could talk his way out of anything, shoplifting Pabst from the corner store at 15, joyriding in Mr. Hargrove's Chevy at 17. I was the shadow, the quiet one who fixed the bikes and balanced the books, the kid who knew early on that the butterflies in his stomach weren't for the cheerleaders, but for the way Tommy Riley's laugh lit up the locker room after practice. We were 25 when Caleb knocked up his high school sweetheart, Lisa, a fleeting thing born of too many shots at a bonfire party. She named the boy Elias, Eli for short, after some poet she read in community college before dropping out. Lisa bolted 6 months later, leaving a scribbled note on the fridge. "I can't do this small-town trap." Caleb spiraled, drowning in cheap beer and bar fights, while I stepped in. Because that's what twins do, right? We bleed for each other. Eli was colicky, all red-faced whales and tiny fists, and Caleb was a ghost, stumbling home at dawn with split knuckles and alibis that didn't hold water. "You're better at this shit, Nate," he'd slur, collapsing on the couch. The dad thing. Not me. By 28, Eli was my world. Toddler tantrums over Cheerios, bedtime stories from Dr. Seuss dog-eared copies Mom left behind. I worked double shifts at the auto parts store, grease under my nails and a smile for the old ladies haggling over wiper blades. Nights, I'd rock Eli in the creaky glider, his chubby hand fisted in my t-shirt, whispering promises I wasn't sure I could keep. That's when I met Jordan. God, Jordan. He was the new mechanic at the shop, fresh from Cincinnati with a tattoo of the Ohio River snaking up his forearm and eyes like storm clouds over the Buckeye fields. We bonded over busted transmissions and bad country radio, his laugh pulling me in like a riptide. Our first kiss happened in the rain, behind the shop after closing, the kind of downpour that turns Dayton streets into rivers. He tasted like black coffee and possibility, his hands rough but careful on my jaw, like he knew I was breakable. "I've been watching you with that kid," he murmured against my lips, water streaming down his face. "You're a goddamn hero, Nate." Hero. The word stuck, warm and foreign, because all I felt was the weight of secrets I couldn't share. Not the way Caleb's shadow loomed. Not the fear that loving Jordan meant admitting I was more than just the family fixer. Caleb's arrest hit like a freight train. It was a Tuesday in July, the air sticky with humidity, Eli napping in his playpen when the cops kicked in the door. Armed robbery. They barked, hauling him out in cuffs, his face smeared with blood from where he'd resisted. The details trickled in later. A convenience store heist gone south, a clerk with a baseball bat, Caleb swearing it was a setup by some lowlifes he owed gambling debts to. The judge didn't buy it. 10 years, minimum, with 5 for good behavior if he kept his nose clean. "I'm sorry, Nate," he yelled from the back of the squad car, eyes wild. "Take care of him. Tell Eli his dad's coming back a better man." Lies. All of it, I learned too late. But in the moment, with Eli screaming in my arms and neighbors gawking from their lawns, I nodded like an idiot. "I got you, Cal. Both of you." The social worker came the next day, clipboard in hand, eyeing the mismatched furniture and the rainbow sticker on my fridge from that one Pride March I'd snuck off to in Columbus. "You're the uncle? Gay uncle raising a straight brother's kid." Her tone dripped judgment, like I was some experiment in family court. Papers signed, custody granted, provisional, they called it, with reviews every 6 months. As if loving Eli was a trial run. Those first months were a blur of daycare drop-offs and whispered prayers in the confessional booth at St. Mary's. Even though God and I had been on the outs since high school. Jordan was my anchor, showing up with takeout from Skyline Chili and blueprints for a treehouse in the backyard. This kid's gonna climb higher than those prison walls, he'd say, sketching on napkins while Eli gummed a teething ring. We built it together that fall, hammer swings echoing like heartbeats, Jordan's arm brushing mine as we nailed the roof. Love crept in quiet, the kind that doesn't announce itself with fireworks but settles like frost on the windshield, comfortable, inevitable. But cracks formed early. Eli's preschool teacher, Mrs. Hargrove, yeah, that Hargrove, pulled me aside one afternoon, her lips pursed like she'd sucked a lemon. Some parents have concerns, Mr. Hawthorne. About influences. Influences. Code for me. The fairy uncle with the friend who picked Eli up too often. I bit my tongue, nodded, went home and punched the drywall until Jordan pulled me into a hug that smelled of sawdust and sweat. They're scared of what they don't understand, he whispered. But we do. We get it. Did we? Because every night, as Eli slept between us on movie nights, I wondered if I was stealing Caleb's life, raising his son in a home built on half-truths. The letters from prison started sporadic, then obsessive. Caleb's scrawl filled pages with regrets. Missed the Buckeyes games, the way Mom's chili burned your tongue. Tell Eli about the time we caught fireflies in jars, pretended they were stars. I'd read them aloud to Eli, his 4-year-old eyes wide, piecing together a father from ink and paper. But buried in the folds were questions that gnawed. You still with that guy? Jordan, right? Hope he's treating you square. Family first, though, Nate. Always. Family first. As if he hadn't torched ours with one dumb choice. By Eli's 5th birthday, we'd carved out a rhythm. Mechanics by day, Little League by dusk, Jordan's hand in mine under the bleachers when no one was looking. That's when the dreams started, vivid flashes of Caleb's trial, the clerk's widow sobbing on the stand, her words like knives. He pointed the gun right at my husband. Laughed. Caleb swore it was unloaded, a bluff gone wrong, but doubt festered. What if he'd pulled the trigger? What if the brother I idolized was a monster? Jordan proposed on a crisp October evening, down on one knee in the treehouse with Eli giggling above us, tossing acorns like confetti. The ring was simple, silver band etched with river waves, slipped on my finger like it belonged there. Marry me, Nate. Make this official. You, me, the kid. Our family. Tears blurred the stars peeking through the slats, and I said yes, the word tasting like home. We planned a quiet ceremony at the lake, just us, Eli as ring bearer in his tiny bow tie. But fate, that cruel bastard, had other ideas. The call came at 2 a.m., Eli's birthday eve, prison operator's voice cutting through the dark. Inmate Hawthorne requesting you. Urgent. Caleb's tone was frantic, not the broken man of letters. Nate, listen, they're letting me out early. Good behavior, appeal 1. 3 months. But there's something. I need to tell you in person. About the robbery. It wasn't what you think. My stomach dropped, Jordan stirring beside me, his hand finding mine in the sheets. What is it, Cal? Silence, then. I did it for you. All of it. I hung up, heart hammering, the room spinning like the tilt-a-whirl at the county fair. For me? The words echoed, unlocking a vault I'd sealed shut years ago, the summer before the heist, when Caleb found my journal, the one with sketches of boys and confessions scrawled in margins. You're my brother, he'd said, voice tight, crumpling pages. This shit? It's gonna ruin us. Dad's heart can't take it. Then the fights, the silences, his descent into debts with bookies who whispered slurs about the Hawthorne fag. Had he robbed that store to pay them off? To protect me? Dawn broke gray, Eli's excited chatter about cake pulling me from bed. Jordan brewed coffee strong as regret, his eyes searching mine over the steam. You okay, babe? Sounded heavy. I lied. First time, I think, mumbling about parole details. But the seed was planted, doubt twisting like kudzu. If Caleb's crime was my fault, what right did I have to Eli? To Jordan? The engagement party that weekend was a forced smile affair at the VFW hall, aunts clucking over deviled eggs, Uncle Ray slurring toasts about real men sticking together. Eli beamed in his party hat, oblivious, while I gripped Jordan's knee under the table, anchoring to the one truth I had left. Caleb arrived 2 days later, stepping off the Greyhound like a specter in flannel and jeans too big for his frame. Eli froze at the sight, cake frosting fingers mid-reach for a balloon. "Daddy." The word hung, fragile as spun sugar. Caleb knelt, arms open, and Eli launched, colliding in a tangle of limbs and tears. I watched from the porch, Jordan's hand heavy on my shoulder, a knot of joy and terror twisting in my gut. Blood ties, pulling taut. That night, after Eli crashed from exhaustion, Caleb and I sat on the back steps, beers sweating in our palms, fireflies dancing like old memories. "Spill it," I said, voice low. He stared at the yard, jaw working. "Those bookies? They weren't just after money. They knew about you, your thing. From high school whispers. Said they'd out you, make life hell for the family. Dad was sick, remember? I couldn't let it touch him. Or Eli. The robbery, a desperate grab for quick cash to square the debt. The gun? Borrowed, unloaded. But the clerk swung first, panic turning to tragedy. I took the fall to bury it all. Kept your name clean. Clean. The word tasted bitter, like the dregs of my beer. All those years, I'd carried guilt for Caleb's cage, but he'd built it for me? A shield of silence that cost a man's life? You idiot, I whispered, rage bubbling. You could have told me. We could have fought it together. He laughed hollow. Together? Like when you hid who you were. We're twins, Nate. Mirrors. I saw your shame and thought I could fix it by being the screw-up instead. Jordan found us there at midnight, his silhouette in the screen door. Everything good. Caleb stood, clapping my shoulder too hard. Yeah, just brother shit. But as he vanished inside to crash on the couch, Jordan pulled me close, his breath warm against my ear. Liar. Talk to me. I did, words tumbling. The debt, the protection, the lie that bound us. Jordan's face hardened, not anger, but something sharper, betrayal. He did that for you? And you never knew? Christ, Nate, that's love, twisted as hell. But what about us? Eli. The question lingered like smoke, coiling through the days that followed. Caleb slotted in uneasy, cooking breakfasts of scorched eggs, tossing a ball with Eli in the yard, his laugh rusty but real. Eli bloomed under it, stories of prison pranks drawing giggles, but I saw the strain. Caleb's eyes darting to Jordan, the subtle flinch when we held hands. He's good for you, Caleb said one afternoon, while Eli napped. Real good. Don't fuck it up like I did with Lisa. But his tone carried an edge, a warning unspoken. Tensions simmered at Thanksgiving, the house crammed with relatives, Dad's watery eyes over turkey, aunts gossiping about Caleb's comeback. Uncle Ray cornered me in the kitchen, breath sour with bourbon. Heard your boys got 2 dads now? That right? I froze, carving knife mid-slice. Mind your business, Ray. He chuckled low. Just saying, blood's thicker. Caleb's back, real family. The words landed like blows, stirring the old fears, the custody whispers from years ago. Jordan felt it too, pulling away in small ways. Late nights at the shop, excuses about carburetors. It's nothing, he'd say, but his kisses turned perfunctory, like obligations. Then the bomb dropped, Christmas Eve, snow blanketing Dayton in hush. Eli unwrapped a lopsided wooden truck from Caleb, beaming, while Jordan and I exchanged glances over eggnog. Later, as carols droned from the radio, Caleb pulled me aside in the garage, tools clinking like accusations. I saw the way Jordan looks at me, like I'm the ex who won't leave. And Eli, he's asking questions about why you're not his dad, but Jordan is. My blood ran cold. What did you tell him? Caleb shrugged, defeated. The truth. Sort of. That family's bend, don't break. But doubt crept in. Had he poisoned the well? That night, Jordan confronted me in bed, voice a whisper shout. Eli came to me today. Said his Rayall dad thinks you're temporary. What the hell, Nate? Is this your family's way of saying I'm not enough? Misunderstanding, sharp as shattered glass. I explained, Caleb's protectiveness, the twin bond, but Jordan's eyes were storms. Blood ties, huh? That's winning. He goes to prison for you, comes back, and now he's undermining us? I love you, Nate, but I can't fight ghosts. He stormed out, tires crunching snow, leaving me with Eli's snores and a heart in tatters. The fallout was biblical. Caleb moved into the spare room, temporarily. Eli shuttling between us like a ping-pong ball, his confusion manifesting in bedwetting and clingy hugs. I drowned in work, hands black with oil, ignoring Jordan's texts that dwindled to silence. Social services called a tip about instability, reviews pending. Paranoia bloomed. Was it Ray? An aunt? Or Caleb, sacrificing again in his misguided way? Climax hit in February, a freak thaw turning roads to slush. Eli's school called. Fever, come quick. I raced over, only to find Caleb there first, cradling him in the nurse's office, his face pale as the tile. He's burning up, Nate. Hospital. We piled into my truck, Eli whimpering between us, the drive a blur of red lights and pleas. At the ER, doctors swarmed. Pneumonia, they said, aggressive. As they wheeled him away, Caleb and I collapsed in plastic chairs, hands clasped without thinking, twins again in crisis. Hours blurred, monitors beeping like accusations. Jordan burst in at dawn, eyes bloodshot, coat dusted with snow. Heard from the shop. How is he? The sight of us, me and Caleb, foreheads touching in exhaustion, froze him. This it. Back to before. Betrayal, raw and ragged. I stood, reaching. No, Jay. Please. It's not. But he recoiled, voice cracking. I saw the appeal docs, Nate. The ones Caleb filed. He mentioned you. Your lifestyle as a risk factor. To get custody back full. For Eli's sake, he said. But it's there, in black and white. The world tilted. Caleb's head snapped up, horror dawning. What? No, that was. The lawyer. Standard boilerplate. I never, lies or truth. My fist connected before thought, slamming his jaw, blood blooming on his lip. You son of a bitch. After everything. Nurses scattered, Jordan pulling me back as security loomed. Eli's cries from the room pierced it all, fever dreams calling for Uncle Nate. Daddy Cow, don't fight. In the chaos, truths spilled. Caleb confessed. The appeal lawyer, a hack from the public defender's office, had slipped in the clause to strengthen the case, painting me as unstable to favor bloodkin. He'd signed without reading, blind trust in a system that chewed him up. I was protecting you again, idiot, he gasped, ice pack to his face. Didn't see it twisting back. Jordan listened, storm clouds parting to weary rain. This family's a minefield. But Eli, he needs all of us. Not this. Reconciliation didn't come easy. Weeks of therapy, court-mandated after the incident, peeled layers. My shame over being gay in a town that whispered, Caleb's guilt for the clerk's death, a plea deal too late to save. Jordan returned, tentative, our ring ceremony postponed to spring, vows rewritten with room for fractures. Eli recovered, pneumonia fading like a bad dream, his laughter the glue holding our patchwork. Blood ties won, not in some fairy tale bow, but in the gritty human way, forged in fire, bent but unbroken. Caleb found work at the factory, sober meetings twice a week, dating a nurse from the hospital with kind eyes and no ghosts. Jordan and I married at the lake, Eli scattering petals, Caleb best man with a bruise-faded grin. To mirrors, he toasted, glass raised, and the light we find in the cracks. Looking back, from our creaky porch swing as fireflies return, Eli chasing them with a jar, I see it. Love isn't a straight line from prison gates to happily ever after. It's the messy detour, the betrayals that teach mercy, the secrets that, when aired, let you breathe. We're Hawthorns, flawed, fierce, family. And in America, where dreams rust but don't die, that's enough to win. The swing creaked under us that summer evening, Eli's jar glowing like a captured sunset, his whoops echoing across the yard as Jordan chuckled beside me, his thigh warm against mine. Kid's got your fire, Nate. And Cal's lungs. I leaned into him, the simple weight of his presence a balm after the winter's wars. Caleb waved from the grill, flipping burgers with exaggerated flair, his laugh carrying on the breeze, a sound I'd missed more than I admitted. 5 months out, and he was still rebuilding, brick by tentative brick. NA meetings in the church basement, a second date with Sarah the nurse that ended with her number saved in his flip phone. Progress. He'd grunt over coffee, avoiding my eyes. Progress. As if we could measure the chasm we'd bridged with milestones. But peace, in Dayton, was fragile as the first crocus after frost. Eli started kindergarten that fall, his backpack comically oversized, waving goodbye from the bus stop with a gap-toothed grin. Love you, Uncle Nate. Love you, Papa Jordan. The words, innocent hooks, snagged hearts. Mine, Jordan's, even Caleb's, who lingered on the curb long after the yellow beast rumbled away. He's tough, Caleb said, clapping my back. Like us. Us. The pronoun lingered, a reminder that twins don't sever cleanly. We're Siamese in soul, even when scars pull taut. School brought new battlegrounds. PTA meetings in the multi-purpose room, folding chairs sticky with juicebox spills, where smiles masked scrutiny. Mrs. Hargrove, principal now, God help us, greeted me with a nod that didn't reach her eyes. Mr. Hawthorne. And, partner. Eli's adjusting well. Partner. The word hung, polite poison. Whispers followed, about the unconventional home, the uncle who'd stepped in while the real father rotted. I gripped Jordan's hand under the table, his calluses grounding me as we discussed bake sales and field trips to the Air Force Museum. Then the incident with Timmy Reynolds, Eli's classmate, son of a deputy with a buzz cut and a Bible. It started on the playground, tug-of-war over a kickball, Eli shoving back when Timmy sneered, "Your family's weird." Two dads? That's sin stuff. The teacher hauled them inside, notes sent home, a conference called. I arrived to find Caleb already there, fists clenched on his knees, Sarah beside him in scrubs, her presence a quiet shield. Kid's a bully, Caleb growled. Tell him to back off. But Mrs. Hargrove's gaze slid to me, then Jordan, arriving late from the shop. We encourage resolution, Mr. Hawthorne. Perhaps. Family dynamics contribute. Dynamics. The word ignited. Jordan's jaw ticked, but I spoke first, voice steady as the Ohio River in flood. Eli's family is love. Full stop. If Timmy's got questions, we answer with actions, not accusations. Caleb nodded, fierce, but later in the truck, he exploded. They think we're freaks, Nate. You and Jay, it's painting a target on the kid. I slammed the wheel. And you? The ex-con dad. That doesn't scream normal. Silence, thick as fog off the Great Miami. Sarah broke it gently. Blames a circle. Break it. We tried. Playdates engineered, cookies baked for Timmy's mom, who accepted with tight lips. But seeds sown deep sprout thorns. Eli came home quiet one Friday. Backpack dumped by the door, eyes down. Timmy said Daddy Cal killed a man. Is it true? The air sucked out. Jordan froze mid-stirring spaghetti sauce. Caleb's beer bottle clinking forgotten on the counter. I knelt, heart fracturing. Your dad made a mistake, buddy. Big one. But he's sorry. And he's here now, making it right. Eli nodded, but the doubt lingered, a shadow in his drawings, stick figures with bars around one. Therapy ramped up, Dr. Lena's office a sanctuary of crayons and Kleenex, where Eli sketched our big family blob, all tangled arms. No one's alone, she'd say, and we'd echo it like mantra. Jordan and I leaned harder into each other. Date nights at the drive-in, his head on my shoulder during grainy rom-coms. Whispers of forever amid the popcorn crunch. You're my North Star, Nate, he'd murmur, fingers tracing the ring's etchings. North Star. In a sky cluttered with family comets, it guided. Caleb's progress stuttered that winter. A relapse, one beer turning to 5 at the VFW. Uncle Ray's toasts pulling him under. He confessed over breakfast, eyes red-rimmed. Sarah dumped me. Said I wasn't ready. Eli overheard, scampering in with toast crumbs. Auntie Sarah gone. Like Mommy. The parallel gutted us. Caleb scooped him up, voice thick. Not like that, champ. Sometimes people need space to grow. But Eli wriggled free, running to me. Stay, Daddy Cal. Please. The plea echoed in court the next month. Custody review, unannounced, triggered by an anonymous report. Concerns about stability. The social worker intoned, flipping pages. Evidence piled. Caleb's NA slips. Jordan's overtime logs. My emotional volatility from the ER fight. Mrs. Hargrove testified via Zoom, her pixelated face solemn. Eli thrives, but influences. Influences again. Jordan's hand trembled in mine under the table, Caleb's knee bouncing like a jackhammer. I took the stand, voice raw. This family isn't perfect. Prison, mistakes, love that doesn't fit the mold. We've got it all. But Eli? He's our son. We orbit him, not the other way around. The judge, a silver-haired woman with laugh lines, peered over glasses. Blood ties matter, Mr. Hawthorne. But so does the heart. She ruled provisional continued custody, joint, with Caleb's input, therapy mandatory. Victory, Pyrrhic. But betrayal's shadow lengthened. Turns out the report came from Lisa, Eli's mom, resurfaced like a bad penny, emailing from Phoenix with sob stories and lawyer threats. I want my son back. You queers and the jailbird? No place for him. Caleb traced it, his face ashen. She found out about you and Jay. From Ray, probably. Thinks it's leverage. Rage boiled, but deeper. Hurt that the woman who'd birthed Eli saw us as monsters. We lawyered up, a pro bono from the LGBTQ Center in Columbus, their rainbow flag a beacon on Zoom calls. Jordan paced during depositions, muttering about small-town bigotry. One night, post-hearing, he snapped. Full moon fever, snow piling outside. This is endless, Nate. Fight after fight. What if Eli pays? I pulled him close, but he shrugged off. I love you. God, I do. But blood, your brother's, hers. It's winning by wearing us down. The crack widened. Eli's birthdays blurred. 6, then 7. Marked by cake and caution. Caleb sober 6 months. Sarah tentatively back with coffee dates. Jordan and I mended in fits. Therapy for us. Walks by the lake where he'd proposed. Rebuilding vows on cracked ice. But Lisa's suit dragged. Discovery dredging skeletons. Caleb's full record. My journal entries from years ago. How? Ray snooping? Even Jordan's juvenile stint for vandalism. A tag pride flag on the high school gym. Misguided teen rebellion. Climax brewed in spring. Eli's spring concert. A chorus of off-key, America the Beautiful. His solo verse on freedom trembling, but true. We sat front row. Me, Jordan, Caleb, Sarah tentative on his arm. Applause thundered, Eli beaming. But backstage, Lisa waited, blonde dye job, heels clicking like judgments. Sign the papers, Caleb, or I drag this to trial. Tell the world what your brother's into. He froze, Eli tugging his sleeve. Mommy. Her face softened fractionally. Hey, baby. Missed you. But her eyes on me, venom. Caleb stepped forward, voice steel. Over my dead body. Chaos erupted. Shouts, security, Eli wailing as we bundled him out. In the parking lot, under sodium lights, truths detonated. Lisa confessed, paid by Ray, family, honor, twisted into sabotage. He said you'd corrupted the boy. That twin of yours deserves Eli more than this. Ray. Uncle Ray, Dad's brother, the bourbon breath and Bible thumps. Caleb's fist clenched, but I stopped him. No more violence. We end this with light. We confronted Ray the next day, Dad's old house reeking of mothballs, his confession a mumble. Just wanted normalcy. For the boy, normalcy. The word we'd chased, only to find it hollow. The lawsuit crumbled, Lisa folding under cross-exam, Ray's influence exposed. Judge sealed it. Full joint custody, protections for our non-traditional home. But the cost, Jordan, weary to bone, proposed a break. Space, Nate. To breathe. Heart shredding. But I nodded, watching him pack a bag for his cousins in Cincy. Eli cried for days. Caleb and I tag-teaming bedtime stories. Our twin bond the only steady. Summer healed slow. Caleb and Sarah made it official. Rings exchanged at the courthouse. Eli flower boy with wildflowers. I threw myself into Eli's t-ball games, cheers echoing my own losses. Then, Labor Day weekend, Jordan returned. Not with fanfare, but a quiet knock, duffel at feet. Missed my North Star. And the kids' terrible pitches. We talked till dawn on the porch, tears and truths. His fear of losing me to blood's pull, my terror of being unlovable. We're family too, he said, ring slipping back on. Earned, not born. Blood ties won, but so did chosen ones, woven tighter in the fray. Eli's 8th birthday, we barbecued lakeside, Caleb grilling, Sarah shooing flies, Jordan and I stealing kisses behind the cooler. Fireflies rose, jars forgotten. We let them free. In America, where freedoms fight for air, our story's no fairy tale. It's the human grind, empathy forged in fury, love that endures the rust. Eli's 8th summer was a turning point, the kind Dayton marks with county fair banners and the hum of cicadas in the elms. He was all gangly limbs and curiosity now, peppering us with questions that cut deeper than kid stuff. Why'd mommy leave? Is it 'cause I'm not good? We'd field them like grounders, gentle, firm. Dr. Lena's script's our playbook. Love's not about good, kiddo, I'd say, ruffling his hair post-game. It's about showing up. Showing up. The mantra that glued us, even as old wounds suppurated. Caleb thrived in fits, promoted to shift lead at the factory, his uniform crisp, paycheck steady enough for braces on Eli's teeth. Sarah softened him, her laugh a counter to his gravel, their apartment a 15-minute drive, but worlds away. Don't need to crowd you, he'd joke over potlucks, but his eyes said otherwise. Twin guilt, the itch to fix what he'd broken. We'd play cards late, Eli conked out on the rug, Jordan dealing poker with a wink. Read him and weep, boys. Normalcy, creeping in like dawn. But Lisa's ghost lingered, her absence a specter. She sent cards, sporadic, postmarked Arizona, stuffed with $20 bills and platitudes. Thinking of you, big guy. Eli hoarded them in a shoebox, rereading like holy writ. One October afternoon, she called, first time, voice tinny through the landline. Put him on. Eli's face lit, chattering about school, his new mitt, oblivious to the tension coiling in the kitchen. Caleb hovered, jaw tight. Jordan squeezed my hand, a silent brace. She visited that Christmas, awkward truce, eggnog spiked for adults, Eli's joy abridged. Lisa looked road-worn, laugh lines etched deep, but her hug for Eli was fierce. Miss my boy. Later, over pie, she cornered me. You did good, Nate. Raising him right. But Caleb, he's blood. Don't shut him out. Shut out? The irony burned. Wouldn't dream of it. But her eyes held secrets, regret, maybe, or calculation. She left with promises. I'll be around more. Empty like always. Jordan and I deepened roots that year, renovating the treehouse into a fort for Eli, weekends hammering with radio blasting Springsteen. Born to Run became our anthem. Windows down on drives to the Wright Pat AFB Museum, Eli quizzing us on planes. Love, post-fracture, was richer. Conversations in the dark about fears unspoken, his hand tracing my scars, literal and not. You're braver than you know, he'd whisper. Brave. I'd laugh it off, but it stuck, a talisman against the doubts that whispered at 3 a.m. Trouble brewed subtle, in the factory's hum and church pews. Caleb's promotion came with overtime, then whispers, union talk, layoffs looming. He brushed it off, blue-collar blues, Nate. Same old, but stress carved hollows under his eyes, innate chips piling like accusations. Sarah confided one night, over wine at our place. He's spiraling. Says it's for Eli, better life. Better life. The hook that snagged him before. Eli's school play, Tom Sawyer, him as Huck, brought flare-up. Rehearsals clashed with Caleb's shifts. He missed two, showing late to the third with grease-streaked apologies. Director, a hipster transplant from Oberlin, pulled me aside. Eli's distracted. Dad stuff. Dad stuff. I defended, but seeds of resentment sprouted in Eli, snaps at homework. Why can't Daddy Cal come? Jordan mediated, patient as job. Uncle Nate's here. Papa too. Team Hawthorne Foster. The betrayal hit April Fools, cruel irony. Caleb called at dawn, voice wrecked, lost the job. Falsified logs. Ray's doing, payback for the lawsuit. Ray again, venom from the grave of grudges. Dad had cut him off post-confrontation, but the damage festered. Caleb spiraled. Bar nights, skipped meetings, Sarah's ultimatum echoing. Shape up or ship out. He crashed on our couch, duffel in tow, Eli's excitement masking the rot. Sleepover with Daddy. Jordan bristled, patience fraying. We can't be his landing pad forever, Nate. Eli sees it, the cycle. Cycle. The word damned us all. I confronted Caleb in the garage, tools clanging like indictments. Get help. Real help. Or you're out. He deflated, twin mirror cracking. I know, but it's you, Nate. Always you I lean on. Since we were kids hiding from Dad's belt. Hiding. Flashback. Bruises shared, secrets swapped. We're grown, I said. Build your own damn shelter. He did. Rehab in Toledo, 30 days voluntary, Sarah driving him with a kiss and a prayer. Eli counted days on a calendar, X's like wounds. Jordan and I filled voids. Fishing trips to the Little Miami, Eli's casts tangling in laughter. But absence amplified cracks. Jordan's overtime surging, our bed cold with exhaustion. It's temporary, I'd murmur, but his sigh said doubt. Caleb emerged leaner, clearer-eyed. Summer job at the auto shop with Jordan, irony's gift. Boss man's got my number. He'd quip, elbow deep in engines. Banter flowed, old rhythms revived, but undercurrents swirled. Eli thrived, baseball star in Little League, his home run cheers uniting us on bleachers. Yet, one July evening, post-game ice cream, Eli dropped the bomb. Timmy says I'm gonna turn gay like you, Uncle Nate. 'Cause families make it. The lick of cone paused, sticky silence. We unpacked it gentle. Dr. Lena's office again, crayons mapping feelings. Love's a spectrum, buddy, like ice cream flavors. Eli nodded, but the seed, planted by playground poison, took root. Caleb overheard later, face thunderous. That Reynolds kid? Deputy's spawn. I'll talk to the coach. No, we nipped it. School counselor, diversity workshop mandated. But the incident rippled, parents' Facebook groups buzzing with concerns about indoctrination. Jordan absorbed it hardest, his tattooed arms banding tighter around Eli at tuck-ins. This town's a pressure cooker, Nate. For him. For Eli, yes, but for us? Date nights dwindled, his touches hesitant, like testing thin ice. August brought the storm. Factory recall, Caleb's temp gig axed. Ray's sabotage exposed in whispers, but no proof. Desperate, Caleb applied for interstate transfer, job in Indy, Sarah's cousin's lead. Fresh start. He pitched over dinner, Eli's fork midair. You and Jay could visit. Weekends. Betrayal's knife twisted. Eli's face crumpled. No, Daddy. Stay. Jordan's eyes met mine, storm warning. This family's barely holding. You bail now. Caleb's jaw set. It's for him. Better schools, away from the bullshit. Bullshit, the town, the ties, us. I saw it then. His protection morphing to flight, blood pulling him solo. The fight erupted post-dinner, Eli in bed, voices low but lacerating. You're running again, I hissed. Like Lisa. Caleb flinched. And you're suffocating in this Rust Belt trap, playing perfect uncle to my mess. Jordan mediated, then snapped. Enough. This isn't about you two. Eli's the casualty. Truth landed like hail. Caleb packed that night. Goodbye hugs tear-streaked, his truck taillights fading on Route 35. Fallout was seismic. Eli withdrew, school absences, nightmares of abandonment. Social services circled, adjustment concerns. Jordan and I tag-teamed, but strain showed. His silences, my overcompensations. One November night, power out from wind, candles flickering, he broke. I can't, Nate. Watching you pour into Cal, into Eli, it's like I'm the add-on. Blood wins every time. Add-on. The word eviscerated. You're my everything, I pleaded. But he left for Cincy again. Space, the euphemism for fracture. Winter gripped hard. Eli's flu mirroring his spirit, bedbound. Questions endless. Where's Papa? Did I make him go? No, kiddo. Life's currents. Caleb drove back weekends, guilt-fueled, but distance yawned. Therapy solo now, Dr. Lena probing. What's your win, Nate? The family you saved, or the one you lost? Both, neither. Human mess. Climax crested New Year's, blizzard burying Dayton, power flickering. Eli spiked a fever, cough rattling like doom. Caleb braved roads, fishtailing in, Sarah on speaker, hospital now. We bundled him, ER wait eternal, monitors beeping accusations. Jordan arrived at midnight, snow-crusted, eyes haunted. Couldn't stay away. In the hall, truths cascaded. His fear of irrelevance, my codependence on Caleb's chaos. Blood's not the enemy, he said. It's the bridge. But I need to be on it too, not watching from shore. Eli stabilized by dawn, pneumonia dodged again, his sleepy grin our absolution. Caleb confessed over vending machine coffee. Indy's off. Staying. For real this time. No fresh start, just the hard one here. Jordan nodded, arm around me. Team. Blood ties won, laced with chosen threads, therapy trios, family nights with board games, and no ghosts. Eli's ninth spring, we planted a garden, rows of tomatoes, Eli's hands muddy with promise. Lisa visited steady now, co-parenting tentative, her laugh mingling with ours. In America's heartland, where winters bite but springs forgive, our story's no triumph march. It's the empathetic stumble, conflicts clashing to clarity, love's depth in the dirt. Eli's garden bloomed defiant that year. Cherry tomatoes fat as promises, basil perfuming the air like forgiveness. He tended it daily, watering can in hand, narrating to the sprouts as if they held Dad's secrets. Grow big, like me, he'd coax, and we'd watch from the porch, a quartet now. Me and Jordan shoulder to shoulder, Caleb and Sarah sharing a lounge chair, her head on his shoulder. 9 years old, and Eli was our compass, pointing through the fog we'd made. Caleb's recommitment held, job at the diner, flipping burgers like Dad, his religion. One day at a time, he'd say, Chip 365 glinting. Sarah anchored him, their engagement a quiet courthouse affair. Eli best man in a clip-on tie. Auntie Sarah's staying forever? He'd asked, and her yes drew cheers. Lisa integrated slow, summer visits stretching to Thanksgivings, her Phoenix job flexible, guilt her quiet driver. I was young, scared, she admitted one night over Esmores. But you all built something real. Real, the word we'd clawed for. Jordan and I healed deliberate, counseling for couples, walks mapping vulnerabilities. I felt like the outsider, he confessed, lake path crunching under boots. Twin magic, blood pull, where's my place? My hand in his, center. Always. We renewed vows that June. Backyard, wildflowers, Eli scattering petals with a grin. Papa J, Unca Nate, best team. Caleb toasted, voice thick, to mirrors that reflect grace. Grace, earned in the grind. But conflicts don't vanish, they mutate. Eli's middle school hit like puberty's storm. Hormones, hierarchies, whispers amplified. The Reynolds kid, Timmy now Tommy, led the pack. Jock swagger, slurs slung in locker rooms. Hawthorne's got 2 dads and a jailbird uncle, freak show. Eli shoved back once, detention earned, principal's office a repeat offender. Mrs. Hargrove, retired but consulted, sked over email. Patterns persist. We rallied. School board meeting, Jordan's speech a quiet thunder. Our kids bullied for love we chose. Teach tolerance, not tolerance's opposite. Allies emerged. The hipster director, a queer teacher from Xenia, parents nodding in solidarity. But backlash bit. Vandalism on our truck, sinner, keyed in the door panel. Ray's shadow? Or town bile? Caleb fumed, fists itching, but therapy channeled. Words, not knuckles. Eli internalized, grades slipping, journal entries Dr. Lena flagged. Am I bad cause my family's weird? Heartbreak. Family meeting convened. Pizza night, no judgments. You're perfect, Caleb said, pizza string dangling. We're the weird ones who love you best. Laughter cracked the ice, stories shared. My first crush on Tommy Riley, Caleb's botched proposal to Lisa with gas station roses. Vulnerability's gift, Eli's shoulders eased, journal turning to sketches of us as superheroes. Lisa's role deepened, coaching Eli's travel team, her cheers fierce from the sidelines. But old flames flicker. One July weekend, she and Caleb shared a beer on the porch, laughter low, Eli asleep inside. Jordan caught it, tension coiling. History's bait, he muttered later. Bait. The fear of cycles repeating. I confronted gentle. Talk. Caleb nodded, Sarah looped in. Just catching up. No sparks. But doubt lingered, a thorn in trust. Labor Day brought the gut punch. Eli's first crush, a boy named Alex from the rival team, braces and bashful smiles. Eli confided in me, cheeks flushed. He held my hand after the game. Felt nice. Pride swelled, but terror too, the world's teeth. We navigated soft. Whoever you love, we're here. He beamed, but school gossip ignited. Tommy's taunts escalating to shoves, a black eye earned on the bus. Caleb snapped, storming the principal, voice booming, touch my nephew again, and security escorted, headlines in the Dayton Daily. Ex-con parent causes scene. Backlash tsunami, petitions for Eli's transfer, social services knock unbidden. Stability review. The worker droned, eyeing our garden like evidence. Jordan's temper flared. This town's poison. We move, Columbus, real rainbow flags. Move. Uproot Eli's roots. The fracture line. Blood versus chosen. Town versus tribe. Eli overheard. Tears hot. Don't leave, Alex. Or you guys. His plea unified. Emergency summit at Dr. Lena's. Tissues piling. Fight here, she urged. Model resilience. We did. Lawyer letters, ally rallies, Caleb's public apology in the paper. Anger from love, lesson learned. Tommy's dad, deputy, faced internal affairs, his slurs recorded on a bus cam. Climax crested Halloween, fog-shrouded streets. Eli's costume a pirate with Jordan's old tattoo sleeve as prop. Trick or treat turned ambush. Tommy and crew, masks hiding cowards, cornering Eli in the alley by the park. Fairy pirate. They jeered, pushes turning to punches. Eli fought, but 3-on-1. Until Caleb barreled in, roar primal, scattering them like leaves. No blows, just presence, towering, reformed. Get home. Now. ER again, stitches for Eli's lip, x-rays clear, but soul bruised. Police report filed, Tommy suspended, but the deeper wound. Eli's whisper in the curtained bay. Am I wrong, Daddy Cow? For liking boys. Caleb knelt, voice breaking. No, champ. Wrong's hurting folks for who they are. You're right as rain. Jordan and I flanked, hands linked, Lisa arriving with coffee and hugs. Family, full circle. Aftermath reshaped us. School mediation, circles with counselors, Eli and Tommy facing truths. Sorry for the hurt. Fragile bridge, but built. Jordan's move talk died. Instead, we advocated. Pride float for the fair, Caleb waving a sign. Love wins, Hawthorne style. Ray resurfaced, apology letter shaky. Lost my way. Proud of you boys. Forgiveness? Partial. Holiday invite extended, but boundaries firm. Eli's 10th birthday anchored it. Lake party, canoes paddling, cake afloat on a raft. Alex attended, shy handholds under picnic tables, his parents nodding approval. Caleb grilled, Sarah pregnant now, surprise announcement drawing whoops. Auntie Sarah's got a baby? Eli's eyes wide. Cousin for the garden. Lisa toasted, glass raised, to do-overs. As dusk fell, fireflies rising, Jordan pulled me to the dock, echo of our firsts. 10 years, Nate. From prison gates to this. His kiss, soft under stars, tasted of chili and eternity. Caleb joined later, arm around Sarah's waist, Eli between us all. Blood and beyond, he said. Beyond. The word for chosen kin, woven tight. In America's weave, bigotries battled, empathies earned. Our story ends not in bows, but breaths. The phobic town's slow thaw, betrayal's lessons in mercy, conflicts clashing to compassion. Eli chases lights, jar empty, free. We're Hawthorns, gay uncle, reformed brother, patchwork parents, tied by blood that bends, love that holds. And in the rust and rise, that's the win. Human, hard won, whole.